Gato Perro with another review. This time on the Spider-Man Classics Tail Strike Scorpion. Yes, this is a Toybiz figure from back in the day. And just so you know, I will be starting reviews on a bunch of Spider-Man Classics figures that I have acquired since the end of December up until now. So please stay tuned for that. And I thought would kick things off with the Scorpion, who is a favorite of mine from the '94 Spider-Man cartoon series. Now before we get to the actual review of him, I just like to show you a quick look at the packaging. And there it is. It looks really old and it looks kind of dirty and green. I don't know why. Maybe because of the age it has. Who knows? Here we have Tail Strike Scorpion at the bottom with a sticker. Nothing really on the side. On the back, we just have a gimmick, or how to work his gimmick. A read up on the 30 years of Spider-Man. I think we're up to 52 now, I guess. A picture of the figure and other figures from back then, including Shoot and Chop Spider-Man, Triple Threat Spider-Man, and the Sneak Attack Spider-Man right there. So they were pretty cool figures back then. Although some of them were pretty gimmicky, and you know, they were still awesome. So let's get back to Scorpion. As I said, he does have a lot of resemblance to the '94 Spider-Man series, which is arguably one of the best next to Spectacular, and the likeness is right on. Now he did come with a couple of accessories, including this newspaper box thingy, which is visible in all of my stop motions if you see it, because it makes a really good display for a more city look to it. Gives it a more, you know, urban area. It is really nice. It does have some nice paint on it, though some of it has rubbed off, and actually does come off on my finger sometimes. Here we see Daily Bugle Spider-Man Hero with some McFarlane artwork on the side, with some other artwork with Spider-Man New York Hero, and just Daily Bugle on the side. Looks really nice. And for the gimmick on this figure, they've gone ahead and put the gimmick on Scorpion's tail. As you can see, there's a big dart coming out of his tail, and he did come with 3 of those right here, which are attachable. And what you would supposed to do is supposed to press the button, it launches out, and it's supposed to compress this area so it can all collapse like you just melted it with the Scorpion tail, which is really cool, but not really something I'm going to be using, although it is nice. And it gives it a good excuse probably not to put the gimmick on anywhere else on the figure, so we don't get some kind of a goofy squeeze his legs together, his hands were kind of claw something motion, which I do like. So I don't know if Toybiz was forced to do that on all their Spider-Man Classics figures, but glad they put it nowhere on the figure but on the tail. At least it makes sense. And back to the figure. Yeah, so the likeness is really awesome. Really do like the face sculpt. It has this nice grimace to it. Looks really great. He has this big space in between his mask. Looks really angry. Looks nice. And the whole suit's, I think mine is a mask, has these like little studs sculpted onto it, give it more of an armor feel, since I guess Scorpions have a really thick skin kind of texture to it, and it looks really nice. All the black lines have been painted in with black wash in between it. It looks really nice. The head is a separate color, looks like a lighter green compared to the rest of it, and it looks like the same as the Scorpion tail, which continues the same studs and black wash in between it. And the whole tail is posable, so you can bend it around up to a certain point, or at the tip right here you can bend it around, and it is pretty long too, so I can wrap Spider-Man around it if you should wish to, if you wanted to. The rest of his suit, his entire musculature and everything seems pretty accurate, looks dead on. Then he has these big thick legs, and then these big boots, which I guess are just so he can stand himself with the giant Scorpion tail. His arms, his gloves are just painted black, and they do have some nice sculpt work of stitching, and his hands look really ginormous. From that, well, I think in the series he went through a scientific experiment that turned him into the Scorpion. I think from a guy named Stillwell. Also made an appearance in the Spider-Man 3 video game on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and there he was a woman. But anyways, he has really good detail and everything. His underwear is visible. It's a really nice representation of the Scorpion. Now, to his articulation, he does have a head that doesn't really go up and down. It just goes side to side mostly. He does have hinges on his arms that would go out, but they're so stiff, and I'd rather not risk it. But they would go out and they go forward as usual. Bicep swivel. He does have a double jointed elbow, forearm rotation, wrist. His hands will clamp on the 4 index fingers, or whatever you would call these. He has a torso joint that doesn't really rock side to side. It doesn't really go forward and back, but it clicks and it will stay in place, as well as a waist joint. He does have T-jointed hips, and there is no sculpt on these, which is kind of weird. Anyway, they go out, they go forward. They has double jointed knees. I don't know if I mentioned thigh swivel, but it's there. It does have boot rotation right there. Ankle, no ankle rocker that to move side to side, but it does have a toe joint. So pretty good articulation. Toybiz was really rocking it back then. So really awesome figure. I believe it is the only Scorpion we have to date. I mean, I don't know if we would need a new one. I have no idea what he's up to in the comics. Last time I saw him was in the Venom symbiote, and that's it. Now, to give you a nice size comparison of how tall he is, here he is to the current Amazing Spider-Man 2 Marvel Legends figure. So you can see how tall he is, and I think he's a standard size for Marvel Legends figures. And I guess if you want to see him next to a Classics Toybiz figure, and just let me grab over and get my favorite Spider-Man Classics figure, the Snapshot Spidey, from the, what is it? I forgot what series it is, but here he is compared to him. Just kind of grabbing this off randomly, but yeah. He's a bit taller. I don't know. So yeah, that was his height on him. If you can find this figure, I would totally recommend it. I think he is pretty priced on Amazon. I guess you can constantly check eBay so you can get some good price. And I would give this guy a definite 9 out of 10 or 9.5. 9 or 9.5. I can't make up my mind. But anyway, I would really recommend you go get him, complete your Rogues Gallery, and I will be, as I said, going over a bunch of Spider-Man Classics figures, so please stay tuned for that, as well as other reviews and stop motions from Gato Perro.